Vegas. I'd like to introduce, coming all the way from Beijing, Ping Wei from Tarena International. Take it away.
Thank you, everyone, and welcome to the presentation. I'm Ping, CFO of Tarena International. You just heard some passionate presentation about their business from an entrepreneur. I'm not an entrepreneur, I'm a CFO. But I got passionate about numbers when I feel like the numbers don't add up. With Tarena, the numbers don't at this moment. So I will first go through the company introduction, and then I'll give you some numbers so you see where it doesn't add up. Anyways, so we are actually the largest IT training company in China. Have two major segments, IT professional training and IT STEAM, supplementary STEAM training for children. So dual engine growth. So we have presence in 57 cities in China with over 300 learning centers. Last year, we generated close to $380 million of revenue and about $15 million of non-GAAP net profit. So so that's sort of the scale. We trained over 275,000 students 2022 alone, and considering that it's through the COVID years. Okay, so our curriculum, just so you have a better idea of exactly what we do. With children, we provide primarily two types of IT-focused STEAM courses. One is we call hardware programming, which is robotics program. The other is software coding or programming courses. With hardware programming, we start kids at age 3. They play with blocks, but we attach the blocks to some controllers, and we teach the kids to do very basic programming using more graphic programming tools. So the blocks start to move and do things. And it's fascinating for kids. They find it really interesting, and that's exactly how we want them to feel about IT. And gradually, along the way, they learn Scratch and they learn Python. That's on the robotics. And our kids, once they hit 6 or 9 years or 12 years old, they participate in national and international robotics competitions, and they do extremely well. And then with the software programming, we don't have those fun stuff to start with, but kids start with a later age, 5, 6 years old. We go straight to software programming, but again, to create fun stuff, animals or worms or movements. So kids really see the results of their work. We started our kids section only in 2015, but in 7 years' time, it has grown to more than 50%. 2022, close to 60% of our total revenue. And then we have our IT professional training business. We started 20 years ago. So the company primarily was IT professional training. The value proposition for professional training is very simple. We give kids or adults 6 to 9 months of part-time or full-time learning. At the end of the learning, we help them find jobs in IT-related area. So job placement is how we measure our success. Now, vision and mission is as a company, we need to stay always at the front and center of technological advancement. So innovation is core in our values. And then, so about our investment value. First of all, IT training market, both for adult and children, are fairly sizable in China, and we have a leading industry position that positions us well to grasp the growth potentials in the country. Now, value proposition of the company is really the high quality course and services we provide that generate results. And at this moment, we have fairly experienced management team, and healthy financial performance. Now, market opportunity, needless to say, the two trends that drive China's IT STEAM training and I would say professional training alike. One is the demographic shift. India has surpassed China to become #1 in population, and China has an aging and decreasing population. What does that mean? It basically means we'll need to automate more. When we drove growth through throwing more manpower into sort of manufacturing or whatever, we will need to replace that with throwing in more automation and technology advancement. And that has to be done through IT engineers, and we train them. And second demographic trend is, well, not demographic trend, it's more the trend in the country is the leadership of the country aspire the country to be a tech-strong country rather than just a world manufacturing center. I think most of you are aware of that. And that also translates to nurturing children and young adults early on so they become more tech savvy, so they have more hopes to become top tech talents, not just engineers, but also scientists, innovators. And that both bode well for the industry we are in. So naturally, both IT professional education and IT STEAM education market is expected to be more than 100 billion RMB by 2025. Actually, professional plus peripheral is already over 100 million RMB in total market size. Children's by 2025, it will be about 100 million RMB. So growing both at a fairly sort of a fast pace. Now, company has leadership position both in adults and in children, even though with children we only have 7 years of operation history. This is the demographic footprint we have. So with dual growth engine, we are positioned well to grow in positive and negative economic and market conditions, further proved by the fact that we went through 3 years of COVID controls and lockdowns and all kinds of adversities in the country. And we still managed to grow revenues for the past 3 years, every year, basically. Okay. And we also became profitable last year during the difficult situations. Now, reason is because we focus on quality and results. And the value proposition for both children and adults is very simple. For children, aspire them to be more interested and more tech savvy, measured by their competition participation and results like awards. And with adults, job placement rate. Now, we achieved that. I showed some numbers. Now, since our inception, over 75,000 of our kids participated in competitions. And then 12,000 of them win some kind of second level or better result prizes, okay? 3,600 of them participated or qualified to participate in nationwide competitions, and 4,500 of them qualified for international competitions. And that actually is quite an achievement because, China is not, at least was not a typical stronghold for tech-related competitions internationally. Job placement rate, 92%, I mentioned earlier already. Why we were able to achieve that kind of results, like basically for children's program, we have IT scientists, like developmental psychologists and pedagogy, experts in pedagogy work together to develop our curriculum. So it's more age appropriate, but also stimulating and inspiring. For adults, it's the industry experts rather than academics from colleges and universities that will be at the core and center of our curriculum development. So we not only teach students knowledge, we teach them application. So the classes are about learning the knowledge and then applying knowledge to real or sort of simulating projects. So by the time our students graduate, they already are savvy for workplace. Now, management team, you got two female senior executives. I'm the CFO. Ms. Ying Sun as CEO. She is one of the co-founders of the company. She is supported by very strong sort of tech advisors and scientists. And also, she's strong with operations. Okay. Growth strategies. Because quality of content, quality of service, and results is at the core of our value proposition, we also place a lot of emphasis on always maintaining, keeping, and upgrading our content quality and to ensure results. So that's the first and the most important growth strategy. And then naturally, with a sort of a highly competitive course and services, we tap into increasing market penetration and further improving financial health. That's sort of our growth strategy. Now, we upgrade our courses almost every half a year. And then we also use online merge offline kind of model to both deliver our services efficiently in regards to physical mobility of our students, as well as to make sure using technology to keep track of students' progression. So that's important. Now, it's hard to explain the content development, but just want to say we invest heavily into content upgrade and content and sort of renewal, just to make sure we always suit the market need. Now, in terms of increased market penetration, one thing that's definitely worth mentioning is particularly like with adults, once they find jobs, like they don't usually come back because they become very busy, the 996 thing in China. Now, but with children, they come back. Our 1 year renewal rate for paying students is over 80%. The last number I saw was 86%. And about over a third of our new enrollments came from word of mouth referral. That's how strong our children's program has become nowadays. Like with the cash paid enrollment numbers, for any typical quarter, we have about 2/3 to 3/4 of paying enrollments coming from either word of mouth referral or renewal or sort of repeat students. And that makes our model much less like sort of costly because you don't need to spend a lot of money on marketing and on sort of lead generation or conversion. And then for professional education, we also have pretty strong word of mouth referrals, but we don't have a lot of repeat because they don't need to repeat. They find jobs. We were losing money for actually quite a few years from up to 2021. And then in 2021, we realized that, we can't keep on sort of trying to grow the company and lose money. You just need to have a more sustainable growth model. So from that point on, we decided that healthy and sustainable growth strategy is the key financial strategy for the company. And we've done a lot. Okay. And that also shows in the numbers. You can see while our enrollment grew almost doubled from Q1 of 2020 to Q4 of 2022, our learning centers actually has like sort of was reduced by more than 10%. So naturally, per center number of enrollments and same center performance improved quite dramatically. This will result in steady improvement in financial performance. You see, we were losing money in 2020, in 2021, but every quarter of 2022, we were making money. Even through Q4 of 2022, that was the most difficult quarter for us, for the country due to COVID lockdown, and then the change of policy with COVID control. That brings me to financial highlights. Now, with that sustainable growth kind of mindset, we worked hard to enhance STEM center operational efficiency. Internally, we have a guideline, basically, for any learning center, adults or children alike. if you don't generate 20% or better operating margin, sorry, we're not keeping you open. So that's how we sort of really drive operational efficiency at center level. And then also through word of mouth and through optimizing our marketing spending, we are able to reduce both overall sales and marketing dollar money we spend, as well as improved conversion rate and sort of per student acquisition cost. And then optimizing management process and implement effective expenditure control also helped in headcount efficiency and in sort of other spendings. As a result, you can see like operating expenses, both in absolute dollar value and as a percentage of revenue, has improved very consistently from 2020 to 2022. Now, revenue growth, except for Q4, we've been growing revenue every quarter, year over year for the past 2 years. And operating margin improved from 44% to 57% from 2020 to 2022. And operating expenses, sales and marketing, you can see the absolute dollar value almost in half, is now almost half of what it was 2 or 3 years ago. And then G&A expense in absolute dollar value while we were growing revenue stayed relatively flat. And profitability, we were making money on non-GAAP level every quarter last year. Operating cash flow, except for Q3, basically also, you can also see the obvious improvements. And that's Tarena, a trustworthy provider of high quality IT related course and service, front runner of STEAM education, a leader of IT professional education, healthy financial performance, and the numbers don't add up. Our market cap, 40 million. Okay, 2.7 times of our 2022 earnings. That's Tarena. I think I'm ready for questions. Gentlemen? Yes, please. Very good question. The short answer is we're the baby that got thrown with bathwater. So, and then a little bit of an expanding from there. You all know the geopolitical tension, and also in 2021 there was a so-called double reduction policy with after-school tutoring in China. And even though our IT STEAM training for children is not part of that double reduction policy, the whole education sector just got killed with that policy, unfortunately. And that's why we are sort of going in front of investors, let them know what we do, how we are doing it, our revenue trend, our operational trend, etc. So, so hopefully they'll rediscover the company value. Yes, please. It's actually a very interesting question. I will answer in a few points. One is, yes, we can. But at the same time, China is such a big market, and our penetration is still so low, and the growth opportunities definitely are a lot. So to us, China is almost like the low-hanging fruit. So we'd rather focus in China for now. And the second part is actually, I actually did some research last year before I joined Tarena. I joined the company last year, and I realized that in U.S. there are quite a bit of sort of not-for-profit services offerings, a little bit similar to us. But honestly, when it's not-for-profit, it doesn't also have the kind of organizational and sort of systematic kind of approach to center operation, etc. To a degree, I'm not criticizing. Okay, any other questions? First of all, we don't have government subsidy. of any kind. Secondly, Chinese parents or a broader sense, Asian parents are, they place high priority with investing in their children's education. So for us, we are relatively highly affordable. Our parents spend about $2,000 a year with us. Okay, and per hour charge is less than $20 for a child. And that's for a classroom with younger age, 6 to 8 children per classroom, and at a more teenager age up to 20. So that's sort of the model. Yeah. We do online merge offline, but with children, we teach primarily in a classroom format, supported with online sort of courseware and teaching. Yeah. One last question. Yes, please. For kids, right now we will very much focus on the IT supplementary because again, the market is so big and and so thinly penetrated. We have a lot of growth potentials, and we want to focus because this is what we are good at doing, and we want to do what we're good at. And with adults, slightly different. One is the IT, so-called IT, is evolving fairly fast, especially with the ChatGPT and all the AI technologies. That's sort of at the front and center of the technology advancement. This year, a lot of things are being redefined. So we definitely will follow. We'll make sure we are updating our courses, updating our sort of training programs to suit the needs of this new era. Yeah, but also peripheral sort of services we are always exploring. For example, we have UI courses, user interface courses. That's not a strictly IT course per se. We also have e-commerce operation courses to teach students how to use technology, use tools to run their e-commerce stores more efficiently and productively, things like that. Yeah. So we always look to expand related areas. Children, we focus on IT STEM. Adults, IT professional. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you all very much. And you can always go to our IR website for more information. And Sylvia at the back, my IR manager, will, if you're interested, she'll give you a copy of her card as well as some souvenir to take home with. Thank you all.